Psych!
Today we're here at Comrade Thai restaurant to try out some of their nice Thai cuisine, and I'm here with tutor Jason Wang.
Hi, I'm chewing right now. Hi, I'm Jason. I tutor.
Yeah, wow.
I tutor middle school math most of the time. It's hard. It's some hard stuff.
It is
Not
so
for
hard.
me, but for everyone.
Oh yeah, not for him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Jason, so what did you order today?
I got pad kimao. Kind of like pad siu. Kind of not.
I got pad thai.
Yeah, as always.
I get it every single time.
This one will be different, she says.
Yeah, no, I'm trying out in all the different restaurants and seeing if they taste the same or different.
Mm-hmm.
Are you a picky eater?
Am I picky? No. No. The only food I don't like is cucumber. There are no cucumbers in sight, so we're good.
You know, that's kind of blasphemous. We need to cut this out of the video, right? It's like
is
watermelon without the sweetness. You know? Do you like watermelon?
I love watermelon, but
Yeah,
I
the
don't
crunch.
want. I don't want to sink my teeth into water.
Anyways, okay. So I always start out all the conversations with one question, and that is, speaking of food, what did you, especially if you're not a picky eater, what did you have for food in school lunch? Because that's like kind of a notorious meal to have. You know, everyone hates the cardboard pizza, the crunchy cookies, but
This is a very serious question.
this is very serious.
No, man. I remember those 4 chicken nuggets. They're shaped like fingers. And,
Fingers.
you know, those
Mine
4
were,
chicken
mine
nuggets.
were shaped like Oreos. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No way. That's crazy.
The ones at Sty were a little bit better, I remember.
Yeah, the finger ones. Those were infamous.
Oh, yeah.
I remember I would love the burger days.
The
Because
burgers.
that's like the only food from school lunch I would feel like is edible. And I could put ketchup on it. I miss it.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I had free lunch, so I would eat whatever they gave me every single day.
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
hated it. And so what I started to do is I started to go to the halal truck.
Oh, the halal
Yeah,
truck.
there's a halal truck at Sty, and to this day, halal is like some of my favorite food just because of that. I would eat it every week. I would try not to eat it more than once a week because that stuff is a lot. I'd sometimes go there with my boys. We would sit down. There's this school next to that halal truck.
Oh.
And we would sit down right next to, on those benches right outside that school. And sometimes the kids would be like, "Hey, what you eating?" All like the elementary school kids.
Oh.
It's very funny.
Did you introduce them to the world of halal?
No, they'll get there.
Yeah.
That's what I would have for school lunch. Never really bring much of my own. My family was not
Yeah.
that organized
Yeah.
enough to pull that off.
Yeah.
Nor was I.
So that was like your school lunch and school after lunch then.
Yeah.
This was high school, right?
Mm-hmm.
How was high school for you?
Not good.
No. We are starting.
Not
We're
good.
beginning the...
Ask me why it's not good. I have a bunch of different parts.
Okay. Jason, why was high school not
My first quiz I ever got back. I was a quick study as a kid. I would always get like, okay, boom, I learned it, 100 on everything. And then once I got into Sty, I went to Stuyvesant High School. I got in there with a grade of 621. I thought I was like the best kid going there.
good? 621, very high.
Yeah, this was also despite, I was in a magnet middle school class and I was at the bottom. I was the 29th out of 30th kid in my middle school class because I was not very organized. I was not a good homework doer. I would just forget all my homeworks. Yeah. But I got into Sty with a 621 and I thought I would get there.
Yeah, it's all based on like a single test score. They
It
don't
is.
care about like your middle school
Yeah,
grades or anything.
and I had been practicing for it since the beginning of 6th grade. The summer before
You
6th
started
grade.
practicing since 6th grade?
Yeah, from 5th grade into 6th grade,
No
that's when I
wonder.
started going to test prep centers.
Oh
Yeah.
my god. That's insane.
Yeah, I also won. Oh, this is a very nice story from one of my test prep centers.
Yeah.
They held a competition, a citywide competition between the Chinese newspapers. I know, right? Ridiculous. Between over which kid can get the highest SHSAT score. So when they came to my test prep center to do that test, it was like a big assembly. It was just a cold room, and I didn't understand why I had to be there. I didn't even know what I was taking. I started to fall asleep in the middle of the test. I started to fall asleep during this contest. I fell asleep during the ELA section. I woke up, I checked how much time I had left. I barely had enough time to finish the first one. And
Oh my God.
randomly, you know, they call my parents a month later and tell me I won second place.
They give you money for that
Second
stuff,
place.
right?
They gave me money. But And then my parents turned into a huge argument because it was the reward was supposed to be a certificate and $100. And my test prep center paid the admissions price of $25, but they called and said like, oh, you didn't pay the admissions thing. So I only got $75.
Wow.
And my parents were so mad, and I wasn't mad because I wasn't getting any of the money anyways. It was all going to my parents, but I didn't even know what I was taking, and I just won an award. I got featured in a Chinese newspaper, just holding it up.
Really?
next
Do
to
you have
the
a
other
picture of
kids.
that?
I think my dad does.
Okay, if you find that picture, it's going right
Yeah.
here.
Oh yeah, remind me.
I was also in those contests.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a very universal like Asian thing.
Oh my god, I hope they don't exist anymore.
They probably
I hope.
do.
Oh,
It's like
come on, it's like sport at this point.
And the thing is, like, they use a lot of the tests from, like, the books that you could technically just find the answers to. So if you memorize one of the answers to, like, a book,
Yeah.
you can do a test. I
Same
think
questions.
What happened for me is, like, I was doing so many different types of, like, test prep that I, like, ended up remembering the passages.
Oh,
And then
wow.
when I was, like, during, like, this is for, like, math competition, I think. So, like, AMC stuff. And so then during one of the tests, I just, like, saw the answer. Like, I saw the, like the passage or, like, the answer, the
Yeah.
question I was doing prep on. And I was like, wait.
That was easy.
And then this happened for, like, the 8
well,
or
so
10 more
yeah,
questions.
right.
Thing
And that's
is-
the way people teach the test nowadays. Instead
Yeah.
of teaching you like strategy on how to solve, they teach you rote memorization on all these different
Yeah.
strategies. I need to ask for help. Asking for help is no longer like an option of like, oh, I'm so shy. Should I do it? Can I hand manage it on my own? No. Successful people ask for help. It's good to be social. It is very good to be social. There's this one of my worst memories from high school. I have many worst memories actually. One of my worst memories is when I was not able to take a lot of AP classes I was not able to take a lot of AP classes, but the ones I did take were AP English Literature and the other AP English one, AP Language, and those were the two classes like I could go through a day, and those would be the classes I care about. I love AP English. I love reading those, like analyzing, picking apart stories, what makes them good, picking apart the language, figurative language, and I love my teacher. A lot of the other kids in this AP class were also taking like other APs. This was like 1 in 4. They're doing it for like the grade or something, an AP test. But this was like this teacher was like my one guy, and when it came time to ask for teacher recommendations for college, I thought to myself, he is the only one that I can go to. But right under my nose, when I went to ask him, he told me, sorry, Jason, 30 people have already asked me, and that's my limit. And so I never even knew when he started taking recommendations. And I felt like I was just behind and out of the loop. And all of a sudden, these people who are taking advantage of this system, they got me. They got to my favorite teacher before me.
It's like almost
It was a terrible feeling, and I wasn't able to get his recommendation.
that's so sad. I'm sorry. I bet the worst part must have been like when you first started saying like the sorry and then followed by the rest.
Yeah.
It must have been like a drop in your chest or something.
Oh yeah, there's another. I crawled my way back to him one day during a free period too, and just to ask again, and that was like the worst humiliating part when I had to like turn my head and start leaving so he wouldn't see me crying.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. Oh, that
But I turned out okay because college recommendations and whoever writes it, whatever quality it's not the end of the world. I think it's a more ceremonial thing, if anything. Find someone who feels like they can speak about you, and it's a celebration of your work.
But I feel like the culture in high school was that everyone was
Obsessive.
rushing.
Like we
Yeah.
need to get ahead. We
Like,
need to do every
overly.
single thing.
I think there's a lot of humbling experiences in high school where you have to forsake your pride because
Yeah, to get ahead.
I think to get ahead. And also, I think you're right. Like, this is not very well spoken of, but I think you do have to sometimes be in a place of humiliation to grow, right? Like, sometimes having to, like, ask can be very, like, embarrassing or humiliating. Like, for example, for me, I was not really good at math in high school.
Yep.
So I had to be like, I literally went to another teacher that taught the same class that wasn't my own teacher because
Yeah.
my own teacher was not really good at teaching it. And this is the ironic thing. The person I went to was the same guy that ran math team, which is supposed to be like, oh, the math classes are too easy. Here's the next level
Yeah.
of like harder math. But I went up to him and I was like, hey, I'm sorry, I don't understand calculus that well. Can you explain it to me? And he was like, sure, okay. But like in my mind, like even though he didn't say anything, I was like paranoid.
Yeah,
thinking,
you
like,
need to have someone who is modeling how to ask for help for you to let you know that's okay, or like
Yeah.
making sure it's a good experience. That's when I tutor, I'm like, okay, any given moment ask me a question, and I will be like,
Reward
thank
it.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for asking me a question. Thank you for being like vulnerable enough to do so, and now you're gonna learn more because you asked that question.
It's such a vulnerable feeling to ask for help, but a lot of the times I feel like teachers deal with it so poorly.
Yeah.
They make you feel worse for asking
Yeah,
for help.
giving help is also an entire of like it is hard to give people help. It takes a lot of time, energy, resources to give one kid help when 30 are struggling. I think that's part of why we say teachers are bad a little bit of giving help, but that help needs to come from somewhere, whether it is from tutoring, peer tutoring, or like a teacher's office hours. That kids need help.
Yeah,
Kids need to learn how to ask for help.
I think there
in a
should
healthy
also be
place.
like individually catered help as well too, because like a lot of the times, like I get it from the teacher's POV. It must be so stressful to like have to cater to 30 students in a class, right? And you're dealing with multiple classes with that kind of student or those kinds of students. And then when a student comes to you for help, 10 others come to you for help, and it like that work piles up. But I feel like from the student's point of view, it's like I feel now like I'm a burden. to
And
ask
it's
for
also high schools, public high schools will have like 900 people per grade. And it's hard to give them individual help too. But that help needs to come from somewhere. And also, I totally did not, I was not good at asking for help.
Really?
And so even with these opportunities that came my way, like, oh, here's like a workshop to get your backpack organized. Here is like a tutoring program where you can sign up for a tutor mentor. I wouldn't use those because I thought, oh, I should be better than this. I am the problem. I should be catching
it's
up.
the pride, right?
Mhm,
'Cause
the
you feel-
pride, yeah.
and the pride, I think, in a way, helps sustain like your image of yourself, because I think that has to do with low self-image, right? So when most of the people that I've met that had like really excessive amounts of pride originally have a hidden like low self-image.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
they kind of compensate for it by like, masking it with pride.
Yeah, and so that's why I went home every day, right after school, no after school activities,
Right,
nothing,
me
and I
too.
just go play video games.
Because the pride came out of like, oh, like I don't need to go do this. I
Yeah.
should be able to do it myself. But that was a rookie mistake, because
Yeah.
starting off, you should drop some of that pride
Yeah.
and go ask for help. A lot of the most successful people in high school ended up being people that
Yeah.
like, engage themselves with the community.
Yeah, and great for them, and everyone should have access to like an environment and like a person that models that asking for help is good. I don't think that Stuyvesant High School had an environment that promoted asking for help, largely because of the every single kid is very individualist.
Yeah. And I wonder,
Oh no.
oh no. We're gonna try to make do with this position. I think it's fine. I think it should be okay.
Especially with math.
Oh my god, you're almost finished.
Oh,
Why am I
yeah.
the slow one?
I'll do some talking.
Okay.
Especially with math, it's like it's a topic that you have to ask for help, versus like something like ELA, where like the more effort and time you put into it is directly proportional to what you get out. And as in term for math, it's all either you get it or you don't. It gets harder and harder as you go on through the years. Like things that you get in elementary school, it's either boom, you get it or you don't. Then it's middle school and then high school where you'll have to apply your knowledge and gain like a working knowledge of something you learned. You can't do that instantly.
Yeah.
So that's where I used to love math. I was a math prodigy. Loved it every single second of it. Loved how fast it is. Loved like using my problem-solving brain.
This was like
And-
what grade?
All grades from like 1 to 8, really.
Oh,
I loved
nice.
math. And then once I got to high school, I had a hard time in geometry with proofs. So I would have to like, create explanations for like different problems I haven't encountered when I barely mastered my own tools. I had a difficult time in geometry. I scraped out of that first semester with like a 90 or something. And then everything went down, down from there. Yeah, then I went to pre-calculus, I went to like algebra 2, a lot of different things that required a lot of work and practice, and I can't just get it instantly. But then to myself, I was going like, why am I not getting this instantly? Something is wrong with me. Everyone around me seems to be getting it instantly, or everyone around me seems to be such a hard worker that I can't possibly keep up.
Right. But to be fair, you were also doing math at the level of like Stuyvesant math.
Yeah,
which, like,
I think if I went to a different high school, one with more individual attention, or one with like an easier curriculum and less homework, and that gave me more free time, I would have succeeded. I would have succeeded much more than I did. I think free time is important because when you are so burdened with like homework and projects, there's no space to think outside the box. There's no space to think, I need to fix my soft skills. I need to organize better. And maybe I can save myself in the long run. There is only like, I need to finish this now or I'm screwed.
Yeah.
So I wish I had more free time.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of the way that we went about high school was just survivalism. Like, I need to get this done. I need to get this done. I need to get this done. There's no other thought behind it. It's just like, this has to be finished. Like a necessity kind of
Very
thing.
overwhelming.
Yeah, it's very overwhelming. Honestly.
Yeah, it influenced the way that I work now. After high school, I had this moment. I went to Hunter College for my first year of college. And there, I had this moment where now that I had like, in college, like your class time is cut in half. You maybe have like an average of 4 hours of classes a day, 4 to 6 hours of classes a day. And with all that free time, I started to realize, oh, I have passions, I have strengths, I have things I want to do, things I want to do rather than just have to do. And that caused a change of heart in me. I started to think, okay, the way I used to work in the past is wait until the last possible minute and procrastinate until I physically have no time left to do this thing, so I gotta do the thing. And that's heartbreaking to me, that the only way I was able to get work done is if I literally have to get work done or I'm out of time.
It's so like the opposite of empowering. I don't know what the word is. It's so like defeating to see that.
Some people find structure out of it, and some people like that they are able to like get in a productive flow, but I decided to toss that away.
It's more chaotic.
Yeah, it is. I can't rely on it. I want to do things because I want to do them.
That must have been so turbulent for self-esteem, because I feel like for me, I also had a similar style where everything I did in high school, chaotic, because again, I was running on survivalism.
Yes,
I just want to make it through like each of these classes, right? And then when I see people who have structure, I'm like, what's wrong with me? Why can't I be like that too?
Yeah, but we're different people, and we may be motivated to work in different ways. And now I have a career as an artist, working in the ways that I like, motivated by wanting to see things happen, like wanting to see my projects go up, motivated by wanting my friends to see this project, wanting to work with different people. I think a key part of how I work now is influenced by others. Other people are attached to my project. They can offer me accountability, yes, but they will also enjoy and participate in whatever I create. So
it almost seems
people
like,
help me a lot.
Yeah, it almost seems like your structure is like motivation. It's like a lot of it's like fueled off of like you motivating yourself, like self-internalized motivation or motivation from other people.
Yeah.
So structure doesn't have to be like one uniform way. It doesn't have to be like I have a schedule that I follow every day. It could be like I really want to do this.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be motivated by anything anyone else is doing. It's like, okay, here is how I work best, and I discover more about it every single day.
It also seems like in the art sphere you have like a really healthy, good support circle. Would you say that for yourself?
Yeah.
Aww.
I make good art. I make good art.
Good.
And it's a lot of we're all united by like the message of the art we want to make. A lot of my art deals with Asian American childhood, growing up. And there are a lot of people that want to tell these stories and have a lot of their experiences to contribute. So naturally, a lot of people to rally around any work that I do. So very good support system right now.
We should talk about your art at some point too.
Yeah,
because
very gladly.
As an Asian American myself. Yeah. What else was I gonna say? Did you have something you want to say?
You go first.
Okay. So you have like a pretty good support circle now, which I'm really happy to hear. Would you say it was the same for you during high school when it was like kind of rough for a lot of people?
No, I didn't. I had a terrible support system in high school. It's because I thought studying is like a thing you do by yourself, or like, oh, you need to catch up on your own. No one's gonna feed you. Everyone else is doing good, but you're behind. All these different like internalized beliefs. And so I didn't have a lot of friends in high school. I had my same friends that I had in middle school that went to Stuyvesant, and we played like Counter-Strike together. Those are some of my favorite moments in my life, is just playing Counter-Strike with my friends. Back then, I didn't really have anyone to say like, go to a career fair with, go study together with, go study for a test, or go hang out or watch a movie or do a project together. I wouldn't have a lot of friends like that.
Do you think that was because like you kind of you created the environment for yourself, or do you think your friends naturally were just like not drawn to that?
A little bit of both, and I will pin it a little bit on myself of like I didn't believe that like study groups helped. I thought you just had to study by yourself. I didn't realize that, working with someone and having that level of companionship and two minds on the same task, and also when you are sharing a burden, there's now someone who isn't just solving the problem, but thinking of ways to solve the problem. So I found my now partner in high school because we started studying for Japanese class together. Yeah, we came up with ways to study, patterns to studying vocab together, getting projects done together. That was the way we bonded, and now we have been dating for 7.5 years.
Wow.
Yeah, that's my junior year of high school.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
A person can sometimes, although they don't have to, give you that structure that you need.
Yeah, and a person can also be like someone that helps like grow with you, or that person that
Absolutely.
walks down the
Yeah,
It's
walks
gonna
down
go-
walks down the aisle.
yeah. Okay.